Well, it's almost Christmas, which means it's time for a new top 5 about 5 reptiles that are really feeling the holiday spirit. And nothing says Christmas joy like a deadly venomous reptile. So 2 months ago we did a top 5 with 5 reptiles that had really striking orange and black coloration that were perfect for Halloween. So I thought it'd be fun to do one for Christmas. With reptiles that are green as the Grinch and red as Saint Nick, and some of them are going to be really nice and cute, and others are going to be naughty and should be nowhere near small children. I'm joined today by Jade, my green tree python, who I haven't shown off in a while, and I thought it was only fitting because she's going to tie into one of the reptiles we talk about a little later on. First up isn't really a reptile, but it's so cool looking I thought I'd include it anyways. The red-eyed tree frog is one of the most brightly colored, cold-blooded critters on the planet. And it's what a lot of people kind of default to when they picture a frog. It's actually so good looking that its scientific name comes from the Greek words for beautiful tree nymph. They're also from an absolutely gorgeous area, the tropical rainforests of Central South America. And there they use these bright colors to camouflage away from the many predators that want to eat them. And it's not just the bright green that helps them avoid getting eaten. Those striking red eyes of theirs also lend a hand. They are what we call a dimatic or a startle display. When a predator does zero in on them, despite the frog's best attempts to camouflage, they'll just open their eyes and stare, just stare at the predator. And in some cases, more so with smaller predators, these big, just red eyes, just unwaveringly looking at them is enough to kind of dissuade some predators from wanting to eat them. So red and green working together to spread Christmas cheer and also big don't eat me vibes. Number 4 isn't so much one species, but it's actually a genus of snakes, the bush vipers, and these are not only colorful, but they are absolutely beautiful snakes, and some have these really cool textures like the hairy bush viper. They're found throughout sub-Saharan Africa, and they are fully arboreal like most of the reptiles we're going to be talking about today. It turns out a lot of arboreal reptiles really like that bright green coloration. Really, Africa is the continent kind of known for having really colorful venomous snakes. I mean, you've got the red spitting cobra, the bright green mamba and boomslangs, you've got the infamous black mamba, you've got the beautifully patterned gaboon viper. The bush vipers have a kind of interesting place here. Their colors are a bit all over the place. You've got some orangey yellow ones, you've got some green ones, got some red ones. There's this one that I found that is perfectly Christmas themed, but is most likely Photoshopped, but I wanted to include it anyways because it looks cool. Honestly, a few of the photos I used today might be Photoshopped. It's kind of hard to tell because they're so convincing, but oh well. So this snake's only so far down on the list because it does have some very vibrant reds and greens, but they never seem to be on the same snake. It's always on different ones, it seems. And now we have the Christmas Tagu, or the water Tagu as it's actually called sometimes. The caiman lizard looks exactly as it sounds. It is a crocodilian looking Tagu. They're from northern South America and they love, again, dense, tropical, humid type rainforesty environments like a lot of the reptiles we're talking about today. And they are big fans of climbing, swimming, eating lots of things. They are in the Tagu family, which is why they kind of look somewhat similar to Tagus like Norman, my black and white, but they are built kind of differently. They are much better for climbing and swimming and just moving around in general. This is a fairly decent sized lizard and much more colorful than Tagus are. The colors will vary a bit with a few factors, one of them being age, but they have these intensely green bodies with some really cool crocodile-like scale textures along the back. And then of course they have this bright orangey reddish head. Big Christmas lizard who's all ready to eat all the snails under the tree, if you have any of those. The emerald tree boa is a very beautiful snake. As an adult, they have this stunning white and green body with this yellow underbelly, and they're found throughout the rainforests of northern South America, where they use this bright green to, once again, blend into the trees. Where does the red come in though? Well, when this snake is born, they're not bright green. When they're born, they have this dark to kind of orangey, reddish, brickish coloration. This red obviously does not camouflage whatsoever, but it does look somewhat similar to a lot of the little venomous, brightly colored tree vipers that you get down in South America that predators usually don't want to mess with. As they grow up, the green starts filling in until they're about a year or so old, and that's when they're fully green by that point. But in this time though, that is when they're perfectly Christmas themed. You have the red and green mixing together, and they are an absolutely gorgeous snake. The green tree python, like Jade here, does go through something somewhat similar to this, but when these guys are born, they're usually yellow. There are a select few that are red, but for the most part, these ones are yellow, and then as they get older, they mature into the green too. And the number one spot on our Christmas themed reptile list goes to an animal that I actually have. I own this reptile, but I don't think I'll ever be able to hold him in a video because he's just so fast and squiggly. He's already gotten like loose and run around the reptile room like 4 or 5 times in the year that I've had him when I'm trying to change his water. But the giant day gecko is just an eccentrically colored, beautiful little lizard. Really just the whole group of day geckos is just such a gorgeous collection of lizards, but I go over that more in our top 5 coolest looking geckos video. But like I said, Martin, my day gecko, he's so fast, and he's also fairly shy. Even I got a few photos of him, but even when I try to get a video of him when he's eating or something, he either darts into his cave or he darts towards the door, so I have to slam the door shut. He's a very hard lizard to get photographic evidence of. And again, they love to hang out in the trees of tropical forests. Do you see the pattern here? Speaking of patterns, this lizard is a looker. They have these super rich green bodies with some ultra vivid red spots and streaks down the back. It's almost like the red-eyed tree frogs of lizards, but it can drop its tail and it moves like lightning. So those were 5 Christmas-ready reptiles with some amazing red and green coloration. Like the video if you learned something. Comment down below which was your favorite. Hello. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future videos that I upload every week. Happy holidays to anyone celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah or any other holiday that you do this month. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you later.